PSTA podcast. This is Tony Tuning. I'm the Director of Association Activities for Palmetto State Teachers Association, and you are in for a treat today because we are going to be hearing from some of our participants in the latest session of the STAR seminar. STAR is an amazing program that is available only because of our sponsors. PSTA has been supporting this wonderful program for almost 30 years now in connection with our Foundation for Professional Development. But some of our private donors include Founders Federal Credit Union, Palmetto Apparel, Dr. Elizabeth Gressett, Mr. and Mrs. Richard Skinner, and the Dorothy D. Charitable Foundation. But I also want to mention one amazing former STAR teacher who enjoyed the session so much that she continues to this day to donate, and that's Sharon McCain from Leesville, South Carolina. So all of them have taken it upon themselves to support this program. Now, what is STAR? What makes a STAR teacher? Well, STAR is a program that started, as I said, almost 30 years ago by our first executive director for PSTA, Dr. Elizabeth Gressett. Elizabeth wanted to focus on celebrating, rewarding, and just rejuvenating veteran classroom teachers from around South Carolina. These are teachers who come in every day and do their best, no matter who is looking and no matter what reward is going to be given. They're the ones who are the last cars in the parking lot. They're the ones who have a key because there's no one there to let them in. They get there so early. These are the people that we know that work so hard to support the students and other educators across South Carolina. And we work hard to give them a week at beautiful St. Christopher Conference Center on Seabrook Island in Charleston County. We work to give them this week where they feel like they are so special and appreciated. We take them down there, we go on beach walks, we go on a history walk in Charleston, we take them out to eat. We eat a lot. Eating is one of our favorite things to do down there. But we do a book study and we get to know one another. And it's, as I said, it's just a chance to not only reconnect, but also to remember why we chose education as our profession in the first place. A lot of people say it helps them to recapture their passion. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let you now hear from the people who are most important, and that is the teachers.
Welcome back to another impactful episode of the PSTA podcast. I am Craig King, your host, and I am probably in the best place in the world right now. And it's not because I'm at the beach. It's because I'm in a room full of teachers. And right now in our first segment, we have 8 STAR teachers down here in St. Christopher, and we're so happy to have them. And in my first segment, I'm going to let our amazing STAR teachers introduce themselves by giving us your name. But I heard through the grapevine, which I was there when the grapevine was growing, that you have an adjective to describe yourself. So you have to do that. Yep, you do. So your name, where you're from, what you teach, and that's all you have to do.
Okay, I am Sassy Stephanie. I teach at Mauldin Elementary. I'm a math interventionist. I work with 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders.
And I am Magnificent Morgan, and I am a 3rd grade teacher at Packlet Elementary School in Spartanburg, District 3.
Awesome, Craig. I'm James Farnham. Jam and James.
Jam and James.
Yeah.
So you're 3 of the 8 wonderful, amazing, accomplished teachers here at St. Christopher at our STAR program. And so really, I just want to hear from you. What has been this week? Like, how has this week impacted you as a professional, as an individual? What have you learned about yourself? Anything you want to share? And anybody can jump in at any moment.
I think this week has made me feel more appreciated and valued in the profession. And I think I really needed that because I'm not getting that in my current environment.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And we're happy that you're feeling that from our program.
Yeah, I was telling Elizabeth that I was telling some colleagues that I feel like I'm being treated like a queen. All of my needs are being met. Everyone's asking, do you have what you need? Do you need more? And I really appreciate that.
Why is that important for teachers to have that?
I personally do not get that a lot. As far as, do you have what you need? Can I get you more? What do you need from me? Don't get that support as much. I do just a little, but not as much as I need it at school.
Thanks for sharing that. Morgan, James?
I would just have to say I've been able to sit back and reflect not only professionally but personally as well, and how I can grow and do more, but still understand like what I'm doing is enough and it is making an impact.
Yeah, James talked about it offline. Well, we were actually online. We were recording. But he talked about the importance of knowing who you are, right? And knowing that it's okay to say no to certain things. And teachers, we have the hardest time doing that, right? Because we're so giving and so selfless. And so we appreciate you sharing that. James?
Hey, well, first, I just want to just thank you guys. Craig, Elizabeth has done a super job this week, and even Tony just serving us and putting us up on a shelf. And
A shelf?
yeah, like a mantle.
A pedestal.
Okay.
Yeah.
A pedestal.
Here we are.
I'm just saying. I mean, when you said we put you on the shelf, it's like we left you there like on Monday and you're going to come down on Friday. I'm just...
That was a bad,
clarify.
that
Yeah,
was a bad
clarify.
illustration.
That
was,
will not be edited out, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah, that's going to stay in there. Yeah.
That was a poor
Start
illustration.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate you guys for just leading us and helping us think, taking care of basic needs, and giving us room to reflect. It's been really sweet.
That's good. So before you take off the headphones and leave segment 1, if there was a teacher out there contemplating attending STAR, what's one thing you would share with them? Morgan's ready.
Do it.
Do it. All right. Anybody else?
You spend all your time taking care of others, other people's children, your own families. Let someone take care of you for the week.
I love that, Stephanie. James?
Yeah, I think what would hold me back is just thinking of all my responsibilities. And I'd just say those are important, but you can't really give yourself away until like you pour into yourself. Like you can only give away what has been given to you. So
That's good.
take some time.
We said it earlier at breakfast. We talked about students being sponges, right? And they soak up everything. And when you squeeze them, whatever they've soaked up is going to come out of them. And it's the same as teachers. So we have to constantly pour into our teachers. They have to be able to soak that up. And so when they are squeezed, that goodness comes out, right? It's right, that the positive reinforcements, all the pouring effect that we've provided to them, not just with PSTA, but just generally in our education system. So thank you for chatting with me today. Can't wait to hear from your other colleagues, friends, STAR members. So thank you again, and
You're welcome.
Stay tuned to our next conversation. Welcome back to our second segment with our STAR teachers. We have 3 more amazing, accomplished, stupendous, amazing, marvelous teachers from all across the state with me today. I'm not going to introduce them, but they're going to introduce themselves with their adjective that they used to describe them on Monday night. So, ladies.
Greetings from Orangeburg County School District. I am Delightful Desiree. I am a 2nd grade teacher at Marshall Elementary School.
Greetings from Richland County School District 1 in Columbia, South Carolina. I am Ravishing Rama.
Love it.
Greetings. I am Anita Cummings from Red Cedar Elementary School. Go Foxes. I'm a 1st grade teacher, and I enjoy what I do.
And what's your adjective, Anita?
Amazing, Anita.
Yes. So thank you for joining me today. And so this week has been, I can tell that it's been great for all 3 of you, but I want you to tell our audience what STAR has meant to you this week. And you can start in any particular order.
It's been very refreshing to be amongst educators who have a lot of experiences to share with others in a non-judgmental environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm learning and I'm growing as an educator to be here with other professionals that are like-minded, and to hear their experiences and how they relate so much to things that I've been through, and just unpacking some of the things that I've been kind of holding on as an educator.
So let's park there for a second.
Okay.
So non-judgmental, You feel like you're in an environment that's non-judgmental. And Rama, you said something that you feel like you can unpack a lot of what you've learned. So both of you talk about that, and Anita, you can join in as well. I really want to unpack that for a second.
So I think there are layers to people, and sometimes we don't even know what those layers are. Other people kind of pull them back. And so this experience this week, I was able to peel a little bit of layers away from my personal self to expose some things that I've tried to keep covered for so long. Other people saw gifts inside of me that I didn't see inside myself. And so to hear other people share their experiences, it was the aha moment to let that piece of layer kind of go and expose a new layer. So
yeah,
I like that analogy, the layers, right? As you peel back layers, sometimes we don't do that on our own, right? Sometimes you're kind of nudged in that direction. So as I peeled back layers and looked at myself professionally and personally, it helped me to kind of think about the transitions that I'm going through right now and to put them into perspective to help me to maybe deal with them a little bit more. I think some of them I've been kind of avoiding, right? And so as those layers are pulled back, I'm confronted with it, and that confrontation has caused me to process kind of where I am and where I want to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I believe that we can do this because we're in a safe space. Because we're in a safe space where we feel comfortable about talking about these experiences, because we know that it's not only going to help us, but it will help the others around us. So it's been an amazing week where when I first entered, didn't expect it was going to be like this. So I'm so grateful to be here and experience this with other educators.
That's so great. So what has been and I forgot to ask this in the first group, they got away from it. What has been your number one food that you've eaten this week? You thought it was going to be very deep. You thought it was going to be a very deep question. I know.
I did.
Well, I can't really say number one food, but I would say the number one meal. I never eat breakfast. I'm always concerned about my son getting breakfast before he gets out the house. I'm concerned about my students eating breakfast when they get class, and that's the one thing that I always miss. So actually sitting down and conversing with other adults and not children and actually eating breakfast and just realizing that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, that's what they say. So, yeah.
I'm going to piggyback on that. Breakfast, bacon. Oh. How often do you get bacon on
Crispy
a weekday morning, right?
Yes.
Before you start work. It doesn't happen often.
Right. Mine was the biscuit, the homemade biscuit.
Oh, yeah, the biscuits were good.
It was yummy.
Yeah, with the honey.
With the
that
honey.
was good. That was good.
And the butter.
And to add to that, I think all of us walking to breakfast has been so good for me.
Yes.
Like, because whether I'm walking, this morning I walked by myself, but then other mornings I walk with others, and just having casual conversation, the crisp air, like it's just been so good for me. And so I think it's important that we walk in the morning to breakfast.
Absolutely.
It is. And to walk after
walk
breakfast.
outside. Yeah,
After
just
I
walk
finish,
outside and have a good time. So same question I asked the first group of teachers. If there's a teacher listening right now and they have that STAR application filled out and they're like, well, I just don't have the time. I can't do it. Because all three of you have probably said that at some point, or you said, oh, I don't have time to do it. Or maybe you didn't. But what would you tell that STAR teacher, that future STAR teacher that is just holding on to that application?
Future STAR teachers, don't block your blessing. This has been an amazing opportunity. It will allow your gifts to be seen. So if you have the application, go ahead and fill it out.
Complete your application, turn it in, and come and get yourself not just self-care, some radical self-care.
I like it.
Absolutely, because you deserve it. We are educators and we are always pouring ourselves into others. You need to come and have someone pour into you.
Well, ladies, thank you. It's been so great talking to all three of you. And I'm going to put her on blast. Rama did not want to come talk to me, everybody. She said, I want to see how it goes first. And as soon as we finished our first segment, she was the first person to jump up.
Go Rama.
Go Rama. Stepping out of your comfort
Rama.
zone. Thank you, ladies. Stay tuned for our
Craig
final
made it
segment.
so easy.
Yes,
He
I
made
did.
it easy.
I did. Stay tuned to our final segment coming up shortly. Welcome back to our final segment of this episode with our STAR teachers from across the state. But we also have a special treat. We have two STAR teachers, but then we have the queen, the absolute only queen of PSTA and of STAR, Dr. Elizabeth Gressett. I just introduced yourself, so I guess you don't have to introduce yourself, but you have to, actually. All right?
Yes, I am electrifying, Elizabeth.
Yes, you are. So I'll let our teachers introduce themselves, where you teach, along with your adjective to describe yourself, and then we'll get started.
First of all, I picked a crazy adjective. I've been on a diet lately, so I'm eating like a cow this week. I'm mooing Mark from Lee Central High School in Lee County.
Hey, what do you teach, Mark?
I teach AP Biology and Physics.
Sounds good.
I'm Jill Ard from Hannah-Pamplico. I'm Jolly Jill from Hannah-Pamplico. Go Raiders, and I teach social studies.
All right.
And I'm electrifying, Elizabeth, and I worked with the Palmetto State Teachers Association. It's my privilege to work with STAR teachers now.
That's great. So to our STAR teachers, first of all, what has this week meant to you personally, professionally, and personally?
I guess it's all about the space and the place. There's no prettier place on the face of the earth than this. If there is one, I hadn't been there yet. It's a wonderful place to be. And it's just really that space of being able to reflect, think, and probably just kind of deal with some things that you deal with all the time as a teacher, but you really can't tell other people about it.
Yeah, that's good, Mark. Jill?
It's been beautiful down here, and everybody's been so welcoming and nice, and everybody's had a smile on their face, and it's just been real peaceful.
Well, Elizabeth, I was going to wait to bring you into the conversation, but I want you to jump in right here based on what Mark and Jill said. Why is Seabrook Island and St. Christopher the perfect place to accomplish what STAR wants to accomplish?
Well, number one, it's a beautiful, beautiful location. We have the water, we have the beautiful blue sky, and God has blessed us this week with unbelievable weather. We're here in the Maritime Forest. We have deer roaming. We have sea creatures out there, dolphin, and just a beautiful location where you can just get away and be at peace.
Yeah, and I think that's important for us to have that. And so, Mark and Jill, talk about the relationships that you formed with people you met for the first time on Monday.
I feel like they've come a long way in 4 days. It's just everybody's opened up, and like Mark said earlier, we can say things to them that you can't necessarily say to people in your same school or your family, because your family, even my husband, doesn't understand because he's not a teacher.
Yeah.
And it's really people are picked for a STAR. You're picked as a STAR teacher for a reason. I mean, there's a reason why you're here. What happens is, I guess was talking with somebody earlier, and they said, well, everybody's so genuine. Everybody's doing all these things, and it's such to have a real conversation. And what happens is, and the reason is because you're a STAR teacher for a reason. You were selected here for, you're supposed to be here.
Yeah. So Jill and Mark, there is a teacher right now listening, and they have a STAR application in their hand, or they're hearing about STAR for the very first time, and they're apprehensive about filling out the application and turning it in. Because we hear stories about teachers who fill it out but don't turn it in, don't send it in. What would you tell that teacher?
I'm not going to lie, I was very hesitant. There's a lot of planning that goes into being gone for a whole week from your classroom, from your coaching duties, from your families. But I would recommend 100% to do it.
Yeah. Mark?
Kind of in my situation, I was actually selected to come before, and it's really kind of crazy. I didn't, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then other things got in the way, and other things got in the way. And then I put it off and put it off and put it off. I did. And then, but I'm here. And what happens is I can't even put into words exactly what it means to be here, evidently, because God has a plan for you.
Yeah.
His time is never wrong.
Yeah.
So what happens because of that, I'm here now where I'm supposed to be. And those teachers that are out there that are just looking to try to get there, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Bite that bullet, fill out them lesson plans, fill out those sub forms, fill out whatever you got to fill out, but you need to get here.
Yeah. And so Morgan said something earlier this week. She talked about a situation where there was a little delay in something she wanted, right? And I'm not going to divulge the details of that, but she realized that there was a blessing on the other side of it. And so sometimes even if there was delay, you were apprehensive, Jill, you had your application, COVID hit, but then things kept getting in the way, but you eventually did it. And this week is the blessing that came out of it, right? And that's powerful. That's powerful in that when we think about it like that. So Elizabeth, as we round out our conversation, give our people, our teachers out there and our listeners and even potential donors that may listen to this, because STAR isn't free.
It is free for the teachers.
It's free for the teachers, right? It is free for the teachers. With this, make sure we make that point.
And let me say this, that we provide we pay your mileage to get here. We pay for your room. You have your own private room. We pay for all of your meals, and we pay for your substitute. So any kind of financial, nothing should stand in your way financially for you to come. And I would encourage you to come and to take part in this, meet some new friends, and just have a wonderful time. Hey, you've earned it. You deserve to be here.
Yeah. So thank you, all of our guests today, for joining me today on this impactful episode of the PSDA podcast. I know this episode will impact future STAR teachers, future donors. And if you are interested in donating to STAR or learning more about it, visit palmettoteachers.org or info@palmettoteachers.org. Send us an email. This has been another impactful episode of the PSDA podcast. I'm Craig King, your host. See you next time.